Good evening, guys. So, a quick request. Some days I feel amazing, and some days I don't. Isn't this the story of our life? But anyway, on a serious note, this friend of ours says some days he can feel electric, some days he can feel a little bit of magic during his meditations, and other days he just can't feel his energy centers. Okay? So there's a few things to keep in mind. When people get on top of this journey, there are some energy centers that you will generally be able to feel. So the ladies that I saw when I was in the ballroom told me that they could feel number 5 pretty strong, the throat chakra or energy center. Something that men couldn't, because this is an expression. Men suppress their emotions more than women do. Women express more, so they can feel this more. So one of the things that I struggled with was I could not feel my number 2. I could barely feel my number 3. 5, nothing. 6, nothing. 7 was very strong, and I could feel 8. Isn't that crazy? That I could feel 8 that's outside of my body, but not 2 and other ones. So when you guys, you have to keep in mind, you are a new person in every moment. Everything you touch, constantly, I have this habit that whenever I go into a room, I pick a spot. And don't call me OCD, but I always pick a spot in every room I ever go in. And when I sit, I will only sit on that spot. That doesn't mean if somebody sits on that spot, I won't sit somewhere else. But if that spot is open, that's my spot. You know, if I go to, when I was at the retreat, I noticed that about me. When I would go to the restroom, I would go to that one particular stall until that stall was busy, and then I would go. So it's just something that I do, something that most people do, and here's why. We get bonded to things that we're constantly touching. You get bonded to the people that you're constantly hugging and kissing and making love with, the dogs that you're with, the chairs that you sit on. Now let me give you an amazing example. The example would be that Dr. Joe Dispenza's team, the scientists that we had at the retreat, measure the energy of the ballroom, right? They have these things that they have gotten from University of St. Petersburg in Russia, where it can not only measure the room frequency and energy, how it goes up and down, but also they will individually pick people to measure their own magnetic fields and how that gets impacted from day 1, 2, 3, and before meditation, after meditation. They'll do some blood work before and after to see, and then they'll take some brain scans before and after to see how everything changes. They'll take some genetic samplings to see how your telomeres are, what genes are getting turned off, what genes are getting turned on, how are your telomeres getting affected by these meditations and everything else, which is amazing, right? This is beautiful. So one of the things that happened was that they measured that they saw the top end of how high the energy went in the ballroom for a couple of the meditations, and how high the energy was in the room at the time. And then the energy went down a little bit when everybody left and they were doing a walking meditation a quarter mile down the road. Okay, they're away from the building. And when they were doing the collective walking meditation a quarter mile down the road, what they found was that the energy in the room went up to the same degree that it went up wherever they all were together. What does that mean? Everything you do affects everything you have touched and you're bonded to. Everything you have bonded to, it's affected with your decisions even into the future. Your future affects your past. That's how bonds work. that people that you bond with, you then leave, and then you do other things, and it still affects them, the past. You know, this is good news and bad news, I suppose, in some cases. But this is why pair bonding in couples is always this cultural issue that people talk about. But yes, we bond with people, and then when we do things after we bond with people, it affects them. Your present affects your past. Unless you completely disconnect from it, you rewire yourself from it, you revise it, and there are things you can do. What are some of the things you can do? What are some of the things you can do? Keep liberating your energies away. Keep liberating connections and bonds away. Make yourself light. So if you were to press the balloon into the water, the balloon doesn't want to be in the water. Just like the guilt and resentment doesn't want to be inside of you. The shame and guilt and how dare me, are you kidding, I'm a loser, all this, it doesn't want to be in the body. But we keep it in the body. Why? Because we give it attention. We give it our emotions. We feed it. It's like just pushing the balloon down. It takes so much effort. It hurts us. Imagine pushing the balloon down into the water for 10 hours. You will get tired, of course, right? And you will get annoyed, and you'll get frustrated, and you'll get bitter, and what does it take for that balloon to come up? When you let go. The balloon comes up when you let go. You just release it. You liberate it. And then if it's helium, sure, it comes up and boom, done. So, and when that happens, you feel this lightness, right? And when you have this lightness in you, now you have room for the energies that you want, the experiences that you want, the coincidences that you want, the healing that you want. You know, the synchronicities, the coincidences, the experiences that you want. Now you have room for that in your life. You know, we're always emitting stuff out. We're always, because if I was not emitting light right now, you wouldn't be able to see me. If my electrons in one hand were not repelling electrons in the other hand, my hands would go right through each other. So understanding these fundamental things in life, you realize how much you are just empty space quantum pretending to be you. You know you have a VR on. You know this is all a persona. You know we're just playing a role. I am just the quantum in the universe playing the role of being 𝐷𝐸𝐾. And my camera is playing the role of being the camera, I suppose. So the energy that we give off, other people do feel it about me. Other people know how I feel about me when they are, especially when they're empaths. Because empaths are who? The people that when they were young have taken energies from their lower 3 energy centers and they have given it into their pineal gland enough where they can feel other people's energies and feelings as if it was their own feeling. It was them feeling it. That's why empaths can suffer so much, especially if they attract narcissists. You know? The energy that you give away affects everybody else. So when you finally reach enlightenment, which I have been drumming about for a month now, at least on YouTube, and longer than that prior to that, but one thing I keep drumming about is that when you reach enlightenment, you're so whole, you're so full, you're so complete, that when you see other people, you have your heart is smiling at them. Your mind is smiling at them. There are these stages, you know, there are these, people often sometimes ask me, what are you thinking about? I mean, it's probably a girl thing. What are you thinking about? Literally nothing. My brain is empty. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. And when I see people, they realize when you When you reach enlightenment and you look at people, when you're paying attention to them, when they're speaking to you, it can be very powerful. Imagine somebody looking at you while you're speaking, and there's literally no thoughts in their head. They're all locked in on you. Their entire aura and magnetic field is locked on your energy. And they are just into you. They want to bless you. They want to hear you. They want to understand you. Imagine that level of attention from somebody. That is the level of attention apparently I'm giving to people. Not only am I getting that from people that speak to me, I've already spoken to people from like 6 countries today alone that reached out to me through my YouTube channel. And they've been telling me that they feel that talking to me, just from talking to me on the phone, they feel it. Because when they're talking to me, I'm so absorbed into what they're asking me. There's no thoughts in my mind. I'm practically meditating listening to them. You know? And I'm just into it. It's like a flow state. You get into this complete flow state. And when you do that, your life begins to change in ways that not only did you never expect, but it's so much better than magic. At least the magic that we have always thought about. That you are the magician. You are the divine. You are the architect. You are the guy who's playing the strings, the orchestra, everything. You're doing it. The only time you're not doing it is if you just give up and you let the randomness of the quantum just hit you. Those are the only 2 ways I know that you can experience life. Either you create it or you attract random stupidity to your life. Don't do that. Don't do the latter. Please don't do that. This is why I've been talking to people, not charging people. You need help? Get in touch with me. You know, at some point it might become too many people reaching out. You know, I spoke to like 6 people today. But, you know, I'm on my holidays. You know, I have time, and you know, I help with whoever I can, whatever I can, and I'm so grateful, guys. I'm so grateful. The questions, the comments, beautiful, beautiful thoughts that people have been sharing with me, the beautiful comments that people have been sharing, the beautiful energy that you guys have been sending to me. I will be forever grateful. I know the video that I made where I was talking about me, I was very uncomfortable. It was palpable, probably, because I'm not used to talking about me, especially to the camera, about me. I'm a good teacher. I know how to teach. I've always been a good teacher, even in a corporate environment. That's what I do. I teach. But I've never just stood in front of a crowd, let's say, and just talked about, hey, me time. I've never done that. But anyway, Happy New Year's, guys. That's about it for this request. I'm gonna check. I have 5 other comments. I don't know how many videos I can make today. Okay. God bless you. Be happy. Smile. Fix your posture. Imagine your new future for 2024, okay? Let's take a minute over here. The new you. Who is going to be the new you, okay? The abundant you, the healthy you, right? The prosperous you, the divine you, the mystical you, right? How is that person going to walk? How is that person going to have their posture, right? How is that person going to smile? Now, how is that person going to walk? How is that person going to react to people and traffic? How is that person going to be driving? And when you touch other people, especially the loved ones, your loved ones especially, when you hug them, when you touch them, just right before you touch them, you just remind yourself that you're a mystical being, you're a divine being, you are becoming enlightened, you are waking up to your true self. And as you touch them, just pay attention to how their shoulders feel when you hug them, as you pull them close to you. And you start to feel your senses a little bit with more awareness. The stupid thoughts and the distractions go away. You become so laser focused and you're always in the flow of the things that you do. Maybe that should be one of your intentions. Who knows? Think about it. I love us. Happy New Year.